Hello everybody, this is Ghost Hunter 385 and I am back with more StarCraft 2. Oh, Tychus doesn't want to talk. Sad.
Let's get down to business.
Ooh, business. Any new mercenaries? But in any case, I am back with more StarCraft 2 on nothing. No TV. Let's go to the lab real quick. I'm back with more StarCraft 2 and more commentary for everybody. No new research, nothing new, nothing new. Alright, then let's go to the armory. Last game, I actually forgot to go to the armory, so that was my bad. Some of the upgrades I could have got would have worked with me a little better in this mission, in the upcoming mission, but oh well. What's this?
Man's got a duty to stand up and be counted sometimes.
Oh, hell, we were stupid. Having right on your side ain't no match for Goss guns and combat walkers.
Goss guns and combat walkers. A lot of people died. Well, such is the nature for fighting for your own freedom. And I believe he said Kelmoran. If memory serves in the game continuity, those are pirates in the game. Ooh, yes, space pirates. Yes, they exist in the StarCraft universe. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Alright, let's get that combat shield. 10 life to my marines. Titanium housing for my missile turrets. And last thing, I want that medic upgrade, but the med pack, the kinetic foam with the concussive shells, and I don't really upgrade the Helion. I don't use it as much as I would like. But then again, you know, harassment units, kinetic foam. Okay. I'll need to make up my mind here. Alright, let's go with the concussion grenades. Yeah, you see, this is why I like the fire bats, but at the same time, they're good for up close and personal, but at a distance, ugh. Back to base, nothing I can buy. Alright, let's go. Back to the bridge.
Well, Ariel, found a world for your people yet?
Yes. An unknown
planet called Haven near the
Protoss
edge of
space,
Protoss
space.
It'll have to do.
Protoss
People need to
space.
lay low for a while.
Well, good news. The Zerg may not. Well, no, more than likely would not actually go towards that planet. Why would they not? G. V. Okay, let me think here for a quick second. The edge of Protoss space, where Protoss probes and scout ships often frequent by. Zerg infestation that close. I do believe the Golden Armada would come down fairly quickly here, folks.
Kerrigan's learning some new tricks. The infestation on Meinhof.
It's not Kerrigan learning new tricks. It's Kerrigan getting control of Abathur for the past 4 years. Who is Abathur? We will discover that in the heart of the swarm. But on the flip side of that, that actually is a terrifying thought. A Zerg virus, a single-celled Zerg organism, that's sole purpose is to infest.
If it comes to that, maybe I can talk them down.
Terrans as slaves for the Zerg hive. Thinking about that's pretty terrifying when you think about it
I'm working
upright.
on a cure for the Zerg virus. I just hope my people won't need it.
Well, considering how fast Zerg mutates, you're better off dosing a patient with radiation and treating it like cancer instead of a virus. But I'm no medical doctor, and that's the first thought. Redstone or Tarsonis? Redstone. Alright, Redstone it is. Oh, this is a fun-looking planet.
Heck of a place. I ever mention how much I hate volcanic planets?
Considering the last time he was on a volcanic planet, to my knowledge, his longtime love interest, girlfriend, lover, pick your words here, future wife, however you want to phrase that.
What's the catch?
He found her as a... Well, no, he didn't find her. She emerged from a Zerg chrysalis as a Zerg-human hybrid. Well, not hybrid. An infested Terran who was completely lacking who she used to be.
Also picking up Zerg biosignatures.
Oh, fun. More Zerg. More Zerg. More Zerg.
The more we spend.
So yeah, I can't imagine Jim being in love with lava-filled planet with Zerg on it. Yes, I'm making reference to the first StarCraft game on Char. Alrighty, we are in it. So let me get busy here a quick second. Alright, today's topic will be a bit more on the political side of things here. But I do believe that this is necessary for those who don't understand rich minerals. Oh, just gives me 2 more minerals. That's nice. Be nice if there was a lot of it in specific missions where I don't have resource palettes. That would be nice, or free floating resources. Sadly, I don't think that's the case. And what's going on here? Oh, lava surge. Fun. But back onto topic here. This one is going to be a political topic, but I believe this is necessary to talk about. As someone who is a United States military veteran with clearance classification, I won't specify which which secret clearance I had to preserve some anonymity here. But it's also to avoid people asking me for what information I may have been told while I was on active duty. But today I'm talking about the FBI raid on Trump's private mansion, golf club, whatever, Mar-a-Lago, and how the media making claims that Trump actually had the nuclear codes is a bit of hogwash, because I guess the best way to phrase this is that it's hogwash in the sense that the codes haven't been changed since he left office. If that's really true, that's a major security failure of our sitting president's administration. But in any case, first things first, I'm going to talk about the levels of security levels for military and government things. So I'll be doing my best to cover an overview of how the military or the government system of classifying information works. Now, to start off here, let's start off with the unclassified information. This is a system that this is information that the military knows about, and if you were to file a Freedom of Information Act, it would not be hard for most people to get this information. Now, people might say, why do you have to file Freedom of Information? Well, to be straightforward here, the government does not like to share information. And it never has. Which is part of the reason why when people pushed for the Freedom of Information Act, Congress passed it. But, the Freedom of Information Act also helps veteran groups as well, because there were people who went on classified operations here. For people who don't know what I'm saying, ops here is, but operations, and they were exposed to something dangerous, or they got hurt, and the VA is like, well, we can't prove that this happened, or it's hiding behind this door that says this is confidentially classified, which is one of the levels I'll get into here in a minute. And basically, unless those records are disclosed, we will not treat you, or we will not pay you out for this. Ooh, brutalist, Zerg monstrosity. Yes, monstrosity, but a tiny one. Making a little Disney joke there. But in any case, in all seriousness, I'm going to cover each level here. So first off, I already said what unclassified was. So now we move up to the next level, confidential. Now, confidential information
All clear. It is now
is stuff that would be not, well, some of it would be considered hazardous to the loss of life, but, overall, it's not that big of a deal in most ways. Now, I could be wrong here, but if memory serves, when I was getting my briefings on the security levels, confidential was considered information that needed to be kept quiet, but the loss of life was considered negligible. Not big threat if it leaked. Now, after confidential, it's secret clearance. And basically, secret clearance is for those who need it. And the biggest problem with secret clearance is that the information in secret clearance will not start a war, but the information is dangerous for troops on the ground or quite possibly aircraft or assets. Why is that a problem? And it's a problem because our allies may have things pointed at their enemies, they may not, or they may be preparing weapons for their enemy. And if we know this information, this has to be put up on a higher pedestal here, so that way we protect the U.S.'s interests, but we also protect our troops on the ground and protect our troops in bases that are overseas. Now then, from there, secret, we move to NATO secret. Now, some people might say, what does NATO have to do with this? Well, simply put, the U.S. is part of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and we're basically the treaty of countries that was formed to protect people against the USSR. And secrets that fall along the lines of allied international countries, information is shared. And you don't want a bunch of people running around with other countries' quasi or military operations that they don't want shared, especially when enemies are trying to probe that stuff. So it's best to keep that stuff secret. Now, after secret, it's top secret. Now, top secret information can vary on what it is, but basically it's the kind of information that if it gets out, it will get people killed, and on the more rare occasion can and could start can and will start regional conflicts in certain countries, or might start wars between individual countries. How is that possible? Well, it's really quite simple. A lot of countries will sit there and be together and say, I'm going to just go here with the most simplified version of this and just simply say, not every country that are neighbors are friendly to each other. I'm trying to think of which one it is. There are a couple of Eastern European countries that have borders with countries that are more friendly with Russia. I'm not talking about Ukraine here. I'll cover Ukraine in another video if I feel the need to talk about it. But I don't feel the need to talk about Ukraine for other reasons. But back on the subject here. Top secret information can and will start wars and will put U.S. lives in jeopardy, because sometimes those things that are in top secret are U.S. troop movements and United States and U.S. plans. These are the kind of information that our enemies would give millions upon millions, hell, even billions if they have the economy for it, of dollars just to know. I mean, we even had a counter intel. What was he? Like a counterintelligence specialist whose job it was to find foreign spies. And he told us two stories of people who were foreign spies. One was a Marine who walked into a whorehouse. He literally walked into a whorehouse and came out of the whorehouse, and there was a man from... Because it was a guy, I believe he said he was either Iranian intelligence or... trying to think. I don't believe it was Chinese, but it was somewhere in the Middle East who's not friendly, off the top of my head. And he basically sat there and said, here's like $20,000 and tell us information. Doesn't know what happened to the guy, but the guy didn't cough up the goods. Well, no, oh wait, that's right. He held up the money and held up proof of him walking into the whorehouse. And mind you, this was a married man, and infidelity under UCMJ is a very chargeable offense here, folks. Then from there, the other story was a base. It wasn't in Japan. It was somewhere in that area. And forklift driver was driving around his base, and somebody got that gut feeling that this guy was up to no good, and it actually turned out that he was an Iranian spy driving a forklift on a U.S. base, just stationed there to listen to what the troops talked about. Yeah, people want information. So from there, this is the reason why top secret information has to be guarded. NATO secret has to be guarded. Secret and classified have to be close guarded here, folks. It's not a joke. But from here, after all those, what's after that? Special access. Now, let me make this very clear. I was never briefed, or at least off the top of my head that I can remember, about how special access works. But special access is the kind of information that makes or that can break any type of country out there. And for the U.S., what is special access? Names of informants. The nuclear codes, just as an example here. This is all kind of information that the U.S. does not need leaked and does not want known, more or less. Now, who has special access? Off the top of my head that I can honestly say of, sitting president, sitting vice president, secretary of defense, secretary of state, and the joint chiefs. Those are the only people who come to mind who would have special access information. And yes, think of Hillary Clinton's emails in this case. There was special access information when she was secretary of state under President Obama that was leaked because she decided to do things her own way here. But from there, the nuclear codes for each president fall under special access and only special access. And only very few people are privy or know of any of what those codes actually are. Now, how does this relate to our previous president? Simple. If President Trump had the nuclear codes from when he was president, well, one, as long as they were declassified before he left office, and those codes are no longer in use, and just remember, as Tim Pool says, the president can declassify any document because he has that authority, or she has that authority if we ever have a woman who is president. They have the ability to declassify any and all of these documents. And if President Trump declassified a bunch of these documents while he was still sitting president, and he unclassified them all, and they're all his, and he locks them up to make sure that nothing happens, but he makes sure that nothing happens. Well, guess what? There's no crime. Why is there no crime? Because these nuclear codes have been deactivated. They are not used anymore. That's the reason why it's a bit ridiculous that, he was going to sell the nuclear codes. It's a fat load of nothing. Because guess what, folks? If he still had active nuclear codes, that's a big security risk. And that's more of a failure of President Biden's administration than it is than in the previous President Trump's administration. I'm just making that very clear here. That is a failure of the sitting administration's failure, not the previous. If he does have that information, folks. But in any case, the FBI raid, you know, there's a reason why people are starting to distrust the FBI, because the FBI is going out and doing this to themselves. Or more specifically, they're listening to orders of them telling them to do this, and they're shooting themselves in the foot and destroying their public image here. There's bill crime committed here, as much as these left-wing people would like to say. How do I know that? I had clearance in the military for things. But in any case, thank you everybody for watching. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, bang the bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.